It is Tuesday, which of course means it's time to answer the questions that you guys send in every single week on the Brendan Plays forums at brendanplays.com/forums or in the YouTube comment section down below. Big week this week in wrestling. A few things have gone down, and we're coming off a Monday Night Raw that I thought was pretty average, just an average show, and we're a couple of weeks away from the Night of Champions pay-per-view. Plenty to talk about this week, including the Jimmy Snuka incident. We have the Edge and Christian Austin podcast that I've got to touch on. Monday Night Raw, of course. We've got Week 5 of the WWE 2K16 roster reveal. I want to talk about the Royal Rumble briefly that just happened on my Universe mode. Pretty big show this week, so make sure you stick around, and we should have plenty to talk about this week. So before we get into today's show, I want to talk about the Patreon. Now, I briefly mentioned this on the video that I did today on WWE 2K15 Universe Mode for Monday Night Raw. I briefly mentioned it. I've had it for a while now, but I've only just started plugging it and talking about it. So, the Patreon. So, what is it? What is Patreon? You ever heard of it? Patreon is a way to support your favorite content creators. So, someone who makes art, videos, music. This is a good way to kind of support them by leaving a donation, but also getting something in return. So you're not just straight up donating them and just you feel good. You donate and you might get something in return. Now, it's not going to be big, not going to be major, but it's something a little bit you get back. Something, you know, whatever it might be. So we've got this all set up now, and we've already had 5 people jump on the Patreon and over $50 of pledged money towards the channel already, which is fantastic, and I really want to thank each and every one of you that have already jumped on the Patreon. That means so much, because the Patreon, what I'm going to be using it for is just to make my videos better. You know, you guys already know that I'm wanting to get this new computer. I'm trying to save up, and I'm broke. I'm trying to get some money, and you know, I'm slowly but surely saving my money and trying to get there. So you guys supporting me is a great way to kind of help me get this new computer to make more videos, make more content for you. You know, like I said, you know, if I can get this computer and I can get this new equipment, I can make the website better. You know, obviously extra money to buy new things for the website, upgrade it, that'll be great, because I really want the website to turn into something big as well. So that's my goal there. But as well as that, obviously the main focus is the channel, and I've been really wanting to make more videos, but my computer's just letting me down. It's just really not letting me do it because it takes so long to render a video. And if I can cut back on that render time dramatically, then I can make more videos. I can make 2 a day. I could even start uploading on the second channel and really start that off as well. I've been wanting to do that, but I just can't do it because my computer's just letting me down. So next year is really going to be very different for me and my channel. I think next year is really going to be the highlight and the peak of my channel, I think, because I'm hoping I'm having this new computer, plus I'll be living on my own, so I'll have no excuses to not make videos. I can really just go all in. So next year is probably going to be the start and the highlight of my channel throughout its history. So I'm just kind of trying to prepare for that, and if I can have this new computer, that'd be fantastic, and obviously some other things as well I'm really trying to save up for. So this is just a way to kind of support me. You know, if you've got an extra $1 or $2 that you're willing to kind of drop down and really help me out, that'd be amazing. So you get a few things if you do pledge some cash. Now, I don't really want to, like, you guys know me, I'm not trying to plug, you know, donate. I haven't been doing that at all, but this is just something that I've set up, and I want to let you guys know it's the option's there if you want it. I'm not forcing you anyone to do that, but it's just there, and you guys will be hearing about this a little bit because we'll get into it in a moment, but one of the rewards is something to do with Let's Talk Tuesday, so, which is another reason why I wanted to let you guys know. So, there is, at the moment, only 5 options for pledging, so you got 5 different categories that you can pledge for, and yeah, so I'm willing to make more in the future, so I'm very open to ideas. So hear what I've got already, and then if you've got any suggestions and ideas on something else you'd like me to do, you know, some other things that I could add in. You know, I'm also, you know, I'm thinking about perhaps making one where you guys can come on the show and perhaps talk to me live on the show, something like that, but it's just kind of the time zones. I originally did have that down, but I figured the time zones are going to be really difficult to do that. But anyways, let's get straight into what we've got. So for the first category, $1, you get W2K15 Universe Mode pay-per-views early. So you guys love your Universe Mode pay-per-views. I know that, and I really appreciate that. So what I'm going to do, just for $1, and obviously this is per month, so this is like a subscription thing. So you can keep going for as long as you want. You can cancel anytime. But for $1 a month, you can get my Universe More pay-per-views a little bit early, probably a day, 2 days, perhaps 3 days at the most early. So that's pretty cool. I can get the Universe More pay-per-views pretty early. You can check them out, and you can watch them, and you can enjoy them. And hell, if you're Patreon, you can even spread it to your friends. You know, you got the link, now you can spread it to your friends. So, yeah, so I think that's pretty cool. I think this is the one you guys are probably going to jump on the most. I think this is the one that I want everyone to kind of get involved in, because I think this is the coolest thing. You can get your Universe More pay-per-views early, and it's such an easy thing. Like $1 per month is nothing. You know, I've got a spare dollar laying around that I don't want. It's like, you think about that. It's not much. I know for some people it may be, but if you do support my channel and you do enjoy my videos, I think this is a cool thing. Personally, I would definitely jump on this if I was one of you guys in your situation, because I love the pay-per-views. I love making them, and I know you guys love watching them. So I think this is just cool that if you can do this, you support me. And this allows me to make more videos. Like, in the end, this is allowing me to make better and more videos for you guys and get these videos out faster, because this is not my full-time job. Nowhere near. You know, I just do this for a hobby. This is just fun. I know I put a lot of time into it. I really work hard into it. And I pour everything I can into these videos to make them as good as I possibly can. So that takes a lot of time up. And obviously, this isn't a job for me. So it's a lot of time to kind of invest into the channel when, you know, you're not getting, you know, it's not a source of revenue or anything like that, really. It's a little bit, but not really. But this is a great way just to support me, like I said. And if you can get the Universe More pay-per-views early, that's fantastic as well. So $3 a month. Let's just try to get through this a bit. $3 a month, you get a shout out on Let's Talk Tuesdays, and of course you get the pay-per-views early as well. So you get a quick shout out on Let's Talk Tuesdays, just to say thanks to you for supporting the Patreon. $5 a month, you go in the draw to win a BPZ t-shirt and other prizes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a monthly giveaway. So the month of September, I'm going to be doing a t-shirt giveaway. We just gave away a t-shirt on the live stream, by the way. So if you didn't see that for the 30,000 subscriber live stream, we gave away a t-shirt there. So congratulations to my boy Nabakos for winning that. But that was fantastic. So I like giving away things. I love when people have my shirts and things like that. So not many people buy the shirts, so I have to give them away. So I'm going to give away another shirt this month for September. And also for October, though, the giveaway for October I've got planned is a copy of WWE 2K16. So the new game coming out next month, to celebrate that, I'm going to give away a copy of 2K16 on my live stream. And I'm probably going to get the game and then stream the game and then give away a copy of perhaps on the first night that I'm streaming it. And as well as that, I'm going to be giving away a copy of the game for the Patreon supporters. So that's something I think is pretty cool. So $5 per month gets you in the draw to win whatever giveaway is going on that month. $10 or more gives you a shout out on Let's Talk Tuesdays to plug anything you like. So let's say you got a YouTube channel, Twitch channel, Twitter, Instagram, whatever the hell you want to promote. I can plug it on an episode of Let's Talk Tuesdays and tell the world about it, and other people like you listening right now can go and check it out. And perhaps if you're looking for some new content to go and watch, I can plug a new channel and you might go check it out, and you never know, you might like it. So that's something pretty cool. You know, for $10 per month, you get a shout out. I think that probably will be like a once per month shout out. So just kind of like every month I'll just kind of get through all these. I don't know, I'm not exactly sure how I'll do it, but you will get your shout out at some point on the podcast. And finally, the last one, which I think this is going to really address the Let's Talk Tuesday fans itself, is the $20 per month pledge. You gain access to an exclusive episode of Let's Talk Tuesdays that's available only for Patreon viewers. So this won't be like replacing an episode of Let's Talk Tuesday. So you guys listening right now, you won't lose an episode. You just get one extra. So I normally do like 4 a month, one every Tuesday. Instead, I'll do one extra. So I'll do 5 a month. And the one extra one will be available for Patreon only. So that's $20 per month. You get all that. You get that plus everything else. So that's just kind of like the biggest one right now. And that's once per month I'll do an extra episode of an extra podcast. It probably won't be on a Tuesday, but it'll be an extra podcast where you on the Patreon can send in questions to me. I'll answer them. I'll talk about topics you guys want me to talk about, and kind of make it more of a personal Let's Talk Tuesdays or a podcast, whatever, for all the Patreon people. So I think that's pretty cool, and we'll do that once a month. So I think that's pretty cool. But I'm also thinking about adding some extra ones. So if you have any ideas, please let me know. If there's something you want me to see, if you want me to do, if you're something that's, you know, you personally think, oh man, it'd be cool if you did this, I would definitely get on that if you did this, let me know in the comments down below. I'm really open to add something extra, because I want more. I want to perhaps add a $15 option or something like that. So if you got an idea, let me know. Like originally, like I said, I was going to do you call in onto Let's Talk Tuesdays and you talk with me. I'll answer your question personally and you can be on the show and we'll talk about the question and we'll have a discussion. But I figured that's going to be very difficult with the time zones. And obviously with Let's Talk Tuesday, it has to be out on Tuesdays. So perhaps we could set that up at some time, earlier on, but it's going to be very difficult. But other than that, let me know what you got. Let me know your ideas. So I know I spent a lot of time on the Patreon this week, but I wanted to let you guys know everything about it. I might do a separate video about it as well, just so everyone who doesn't listen to Let's Talk Tuesdays knows what's going on as well. So like I said, $1 donation for the Universe Mode pay-per-views. I think that's the one to get on. So if you're really looking just to get those pay-per-views early, I highly recommend that one. And we've already got 5 people who've already jumped on already, which is fantastic. So make sure you go and check that out. Link will be in the description down below. Alright, so now that we got that out of the way, I want to give another quick thank you to everybody that checked out the recent Royal Rumble pay-per-view for Universe Mode. I thought it was a great success. What happened was, the reason why it took a little bit longer than what I thought is I had some copyright issues, as I mentioned last week on Let's Talk Tuesdays, and they still didn't get resolved. Oh my god. I filed a copyright dispute 6 days ago, and the company never replied. Never replied to me, and they just taken my money. So that's frustrating, very frustrating. So they took my money. I bought the rights to use the song, and obviously the video gets the most views in the first amount of days. So now that's all gone. It's kind of like, wow, really? So that was a big pain. But part two got more views than part one anyway, so that didn't really matter too much. But I want to thank everyone that did support me on that and check that out. I think that was a really good success. I really enjoyed making the Royal Rumble this time. It was a much easier process than it has been for a lot of the other pay-per-views that I've made. Normally, pay-per-views is always something that goes wrong. It's normally always a disaster. But this time, it was much better. This time, just kind of went pretty smoothly. Everything was okay. We did have a few problems, but it wasn't drastic. It wasn't, I was ahead of schedule, ahead of where I wanted to be, and I was happy about that. I did have the videos up earlier on my website, by the way, so if you guys didn't notice that I had the videos up about 2-3 days early on the website, I know a lot of people are asking me, Brendan, where's the Royal Rumble? And I'm thinking to myself, man, it's been on the website for 3 days. Like, there's people asking me where was part 1, and the video had already been up for 3-4 days on the website. It was all on my Twitter, all on my Facebook, so people obviously aren't quite aware of the website yet, and that's going to take some time, or some people might be like, I don't want to check that out, I didn't care about it, but definitely, I probably won't do that again now, considering got the Patreon thing going on. Perhaps I still will. Perhaps I'll, release it a couple of days early for the Patreon, and then, a few hours extra early for the website, something like that. But just to say thanks and just to appreciate everyone that does check out the website, because that's my baby at the moment. The website was really my baby. I really enjoy pouring everything, a lot of time into that. The forums as well, that's also my baby. So I really enjoy doing all that, and it's just something to keep me extra busy as well as the YouTube channel. But definitely Universe Mode. I put a new one out today, and I mentioned this last week, but I'm going to be doing a lot more Universe Mode episodes in the next few weeks, because I want to get to the Elimination Chamber. So I'm going to be pumping out a Universe Mode episode every second day. So that's the plan right now. I want to get to the Chamber as soon as I can. And because if I did one every single day, I just feel as though that might be a little bit too much. And plus, we won't get to the other series that I've got going on as well. But I just feel as though I know some other Universe Mode creators, they do one like 2, 3, 4 times a day. It's like, wow, man, that's a lot. I just feel as though I like to do the one a day or one every couple of days, because it just kind of makes it a little bit more special as well, in my personal opinion. I mean, if you get one all the time, it's not as special. You kind of, I don't know, I just like doing it every now and then, so you guys can have something to look forward to, and yeah, so that's just kind of how I feel about it. But like I said, in the future I'll try and do more, especially when 2K16 comes around. I think I've decided probably I'm not going to do a My Career Mode series. I just don't feel as though, I just did not enjoy it. I'm just not enjoying it at the moment either. So I really feel as though for this year, I might just not do My Career. I might just go straight in, Universe Mode every single day, just absolutely just go hardcore at it. That might be the goal at the moment. That might be my plan. So let me know. Let me know if you think I should continue doing My Career Modes for now and on 2K16. I'm still going to try and finish off what we've got going on now in 2K15. But definitely I just want to focus on Universe Mode on 2K16 because that's what I'm best at. And personally, I do think my My Career Mode videos are okay, but I certainly don't think they're anywhere near the quality of my Universe Mode videos. So I think that I should just probably focus on what I'm good at, and that's the main reason why a lot of you guys subscribed. So I'll give you guys that reason a little bit extra, a little bit more, so in the coming months. And I'm really looking forward to W2K16, and I guess that's a nice segue into what we're going to talk about in a second. But I think W2K16 is going to be a really good game this year. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to playing Universe Mode. I think this is going to be a big year for my channel, and I'm really hoping that I can really grow. I mean, last week we celebrated 30,000 subscribers, which was amazing, and we had the 30,000 subscriber live stream as well, which was really good. I really want to thank everyone that turned out for that. We had like 130 viewers at one point, which was great, and it's just a lot of fun. We were just playing Royal Rumbles and, giving away a shirt, just having a chill, relaxing time. I thought it was a great stream, and I'm really looking forward to doing more streams like that. I would stream WWE more often, but I just don't know what to do on it. I just don't know. Perhaps I might do a My Career Mode stream. I might stream My Career Mode this year instead of doing a series on it. So I'll still play My Career Mode, but I'll live stream it instead on the Twitch. I think that might be a better idea. So you still get it, but it's on the Twitch. And perhaps maybe I'll even, upload it on, onto the YouTube as well. I think that could be good. I could just do it on the Twitch, have fun there, and, just port it over perhaps. I don't know. The quality's not as good, but, we'll see. We'll think about it. But, so W2K16, we had week 5 of the roster reveal today. Well, yesterday, I should say. And this week was Legends Week. It was pretty obvious that this is just all about Legends this week. And I think it was a good week. I really thought last week was going to be Legends Week because I had a feeling they would just do 1 week where it's just get all the Legends out. So I'm pretty happy with this week. So we had Billy Gunn, Bret Hart. I'm very happy to see Bret Hart back in the game. He's probably the one legend I was kind of hoping for. I don't know why. I want Bret Hart, but I was just like, I was thinking to myself last week, I'm like, you know what, I really want Bret Hart to be in 2K16. I don't know why, but I just did. So I guess I'd say the Bret Hart-Austin match will be in the Austin Showcase. I dare say that will probably be featured from, WrestleMania 13 or 14? I always get the two mixed up, 13 or 14. One of those two. But I dare say that match will be in there. British Bulldog, Cactus Jack, Christian. I'm very happy to see Christian back in as well. I got the feeling he'd be in there considering they had him last year and they could just port it over. They've been porting everybody over, so why not Christian? So no surprise. So I'm happy to see him there. Damien Sandow was confirmed as well. I think he will be Damien Sandow, not Mizdow or Macho Man Dow. So I think it just seems as though it's going to be Damien Sandow. D'Lo Brown is in there, which is different and cool. Dude Love, Farouk, Haku. I was a little surprised about Haku, but I think it's pretty cool. Honky Tonk Man, Jake Roberts, Jim Neidhart, Kama Mustafa, Ken Shamrock, Mankind, Paul White, Rikishi, Shane McMahon. I thought that was pretty cool to see Shane back in the game. Shawn Michaels, Vader, Vince McMahon, and X-Pac. So, very much so an Attitude Era Legends week, and I thought this was a good reveal. And I think we've only got about 20 more names to go, so perhaps next week's reveal might be the final one, and release the rest of the names. I dare say next week might be an NXT reveal, because you got the likes of Sasha Banks, Becky, Bayley, Charlotte. Did I say Charlotte? No, yes, Charlotte. So we got a lot of those divas to be revealed. I'm not exactly sure who else is still yet to go, but there's still plenty of names they can drop, and we're very much so looking forward to the rest of the roster. I think it's going to be very exciting. I'm just, like I said, I'm very, very, very keen for W2K16. I think it's going to be good, and like I said last week, a good roster is the foundation for success. So even if they don't have the game modes and everything like that, you still have the good roster to kind of play as. So for the most part, you can get something out of the game. So even if they lack elsewhere, the roster is the foundation for success. And if you don't have a good roster, then you're not going to have a good game regardless. So that's what we found out with 2K15. Even if My Career Mode was fantastic and Universe Mode was fantastic, what can you do on Universe Mode if there's no one to play as? Who can you face in My Career Mode as your creator guy if you've got no one in the roster to face? So it's exactly so. You need to have a good roster, and I think this year should be pretty cool. And obviously Showcase Mode centered around Austin as well. That could be pretty interesting. Obviously Austin's got a very interesting little career that he had in the Attitude Era. Just a little one. He had a pretty decent one. So I think that'll be pretty cool. So I'm looking forward to seeing all of that. And so 2K16, not too far away now. I think we believe under 50 days to go. So that should be very, very exciting. I'm very, very excited. I hope you guys are too. Now, this one isn't exactly exciting news. The Jimmy Snuka thing. Jimmy Snuka has been arrested and charged for murder of his girlfriend from 1983. And this is a heavy rumor that happened a long time ago, obviously. And everybody was kind of speculating about this. And obviously Jimmy Snuka, a Hall of Famer. I think they've suspended his Hall of Fame at the moment, and they've kind of got him away from the Legends deal and everything like that. I think they're kind of distancing themselves away from from Jimmy Snuka at the moment. That's no surprise. I mean, Snuka has to get the same treatment that Benoit did. If he is guilty, of course, if he's not guilty, then that's fine. Just go back to life before. But if he is guilty, he has to get the Benoit treatment. That's just the way it has to be. And, Jimmy Snuka is a 70-year-old man. I believe he's got cancer of some sort. I think it might be stomach cancer, I believe. He's just not in a bad... He's just in a bad way, health-wise. So I don't think he'll go to jail, even if he is guilty. I think he'll just, serve his sentences at home and perhaps be on house arrest or something like that. Because the man is, he's struggling. He's not in a good way. And, it took a long time. It's just kind of strange. This was really just out of nowhere, wasn't it? It just took a long time, for them to get enough evidence to arrest him. I know this was a big thing back in the day, because apparently it was an accident, what happened. I don't know the full story. I don't know the full details. I've never really looked into this because, obviously didn't really grow up in that era, so Jimmy Snuka wasn't really a guy that I really knew much about or cared too much about, but... I think that if he is guilty, like I said, they've got to do the right thing and remove him from, erase him from history, which would be kind of disappointing. Another guy being erased, but you can't murder someone. And people were saying on my forums, we had the discussion on forums, that because it had been 30 years, there's no point in charging him or, doing anything like that. Like, it was 30 years ago, he's not guilty anymore. He's changed, he's different, but... Now, if you kill someone, it doesn't matter if it was 50 years ago, 10 years ago, 3 years ago, or yesterday, you still killed someone. You still broke the law, and you still should be punished if you're found guilty. If you did it, then you got to serve the time. You do the crime, you do the time. He's got to do the punishment, whatever they do give him. I'm not exactly sure what they're going to give him, but if he is found guilty, then I guess he's got to do what he has to do. So. It's just disappointing, another kind of black mark on wrestling right now, considering we've already gone through the whole Hogan thing. It's just been a really bad couple months for wrestling in terms of its the reputation it's got at the moment. So, not a good situation. They're just coming off a big SummerSlam, and, they had some momentum, some good press, but now the whole Snuka thing kind of brings a bit of a damper on that again, so... I'm not exactly sure how this is all going to play out, but I'll keep my eye on it and I'll let you guys know in the future and give my opinions on it. But certainly, Snuka is in a bad way. Speaking of in a bit of a bad way, Bo Dallas, the rumor is he's going to be repackaged and going to be getting a bit of a gimmick change. He hasn't been on TV all that much, and it's been a reason because they've been thinking about trying to change up his gimmick. I have no idea what they're going to do with him. So they're wanting to change him into something. They want to try and repackage him and get him going again. I personally believe they don't really need to change his gimmick. I just think they need to give him a chance, more TV time. How can a guy get over when you make him lose every week and you bitch him out to everybody every week? He got killed by Brock Lesnar, so obviously that's going to put him off TV until they do decide to go in a different direction. But I personally believe that he's going to get a comedy gimmick. I don't think they're going to give him anything serious. I don't think he's ever really going to be in contention for titles or anything like that. I think for the time being, I think they might see Bo Dallas as a comedy guy. And I don't know if he can do it, but he might be on the next Santino. He might be doing some stupid stuff, big goofy smile and just being cracking bad, unfunny jokes or something like that. I would not be surprised if he's just doing something hokey and annoying and just horrible. Bo Dallas is annoying enough as it is, so I think he could probably make it work, but I don't think they're going to really do much with him. I just don't see much value in Bo Dallas. I know a lot of people saying, he's going to be in the Wyatt family. I don't think that's ever going to happen. I mean, if Bo Dallas was in the Wyatt family, I just feel as though that would just ruin the group. I mean, imagine if you had Bo Dallas become the third man instead of Braun Strowman. Yeah, that's right. You're thinking to yourself, oh, wow, yeah. I mean, Braun Strowman is the perfect fit for that group. Bo Dallas, not so much. So anything to do with the Wyatt family, you keep it away from Bo Dallas. Just because they're brothers in real life doesn't mean they have to be in a group on TV together. So Bo Dallas, let him do his own thing. Let the Wyatts do their own thing. And keep the two separate. But I don't know what the future is for Bo Dallas. But like I said, I just think this whole repackaged rumor, I expect him to be coming back as a comedy gimmick. And apparently Kane was also meant to return tonight as well. They're kind of pushing away his return. I'm not exactly complaining either. I think Kane not being on TV is probably a good thing. I think kind of bring him back, freshen him up a little bit. I mean, I'd give him a little bit more time. I have not missed Kane at all. I don't think... Have you guys missed Kane? I just don't. I don't really care. So I'm pretty happy that Kane's not around at the moment. I just think it's a nice breath of fresh air because Kane just... Oh my god, just loses by DQ every week. Comes in and, just bitches out everyone who faces Seth Rollins and interferes every week. It's nice to have some actually clear-cut finishes. And mind you, we did have not so much, we had a distraction roll-up finish for Ryback and Rollins, and then we had the whole thing that went down the main event as well. So, not exactly a clear-cut for Seth Rollins at the moment, but at least it's not Kane doing it. But we had the Austin podcast. Edge and Christian were on the show this week. Not a lot to talk about in terms of the podcast this week. I just thought I'd touch on it and say it was a good show. I really enjoyed it. I like the podcast. A lot of people are wanting controversy. They're wanting something big, newsworthy from these podcasts, and I don't think it has to be. I don't think that's what it really is there for. For certain guests, yes. For Vince, for Triple H, for Stephanie, yes. That's what you should have. But for guys like Edge and Christian, just give their opinions on what they think that's going on in the business right now, talk about their career. They just had a good time. It was just a nice, feel-good, easy watching, podcast. They're just laughing, telling some stories. The only thing I really wanted to know was what's the deal with Christian. That's all I kind of wanted to know. I don't know if they touched on it because I think I missed the first opening few minutes. All I wanted to know is what's the deal with Christian? Is he done? Is his career over? Why? I just wanted to know an update on Christian. That was really about it. That's the only thing I wanted to know. The rest I was just happy with. At one point, you had Austin, on the ukulele, I believe it is, singing Kumbaya, and you had Edge and Christian doing their thing, and it's just a nice, bit of a goofy, silly podcast. I think it was pretty good. So, if you haven't already checked it out, go check it out. I think it's pretty good. So, like I said, it doesn't have to be controversy every week. I don't think it needs to be. I think it's just, you get your information across, you get the stories across, and you ask their opinion on good questions. You don't just waste time. Like, they talked about the current division right now and where they think it should be going and what their opinion is, and I think that's good. That's the kind of things that I want to hear from them, their thoughts on what's going on now, and, talk about their own kind of history as well a little bit, and, kind of reminisce on the things that they did in their career, and that's exactly what happened. So I think, the Austin podcast, I like it. Like I said, it doesn't have to be controversial every week. Alright, so let's move on to Monday Night Raw. There's not a lot to talk about on Raw, so I'm glad we had some other things to talk about this week. I just want to say, we had Sting open up the show. Seth Rollins opened the show without a promo, Sting interrupting. The whole kind of show was centered around the statue of Seth Rollins. And Sting was acting like he was the Joker Sting from TNA, being a bit like laughing and being a bit silly. It was a little bit different from Sting. I don't know what was going on there. I mean, one week he's all serious, the next week he's, laughing around and joking around and goofing around. So I have no idea what are they doing with Sting. I have no idea. I don't even think Sting knows what they're doing with him. I just think, I don't know. I think the Sting thing tonight was good. I didn't complain too much. I think it was okay. It was expected. I was predictable what was going to happen. That they're going to break the statue somehow. So, yeah, I mean, that was expected. I think we all knew that statue was going to get broken. Seth Rollins is not getting a statue put in WWE headquarters, and it's going to stay there untouched. So I think we all kind of expected something was going to happen to it. But, so Sting was just a little bit all over the place tonight, so I don't know. We had Seth Rollins versus Ryback. I thought that was a good match. I think that was a nice match for Ryback, something a little bit better for his championship reign, and he got the win. I kind of expected Ryback to win. Obviously, it wasn't clean. It had the distraction roll-up, an easy kind of workaround. But it was a good back-and-forth match. I enjoyed it. I thought that was a good effort from Ryback. And a lot of people have been, talking crap about Ryback and how he's the worst champion right now. He's the horrible Intercontinental Champion. Get the belt off him. But my response has always been, Ryback has only had the Big Show and Miz. That's the only guys he's faced in his title reign. And it's the Big Show and Miz. How many people want to see those guys? Not many. It's the Big Show. Wow, okay, same shit for the last 15 years. The Miz, the Miz is the Miz. He's a good talker and everything like that. He's a good heel, but in the ring, he just doesn't bring it, in my personal opinion. I think he's still got to be that mouthpiece. But I just feel as though Ryback just hasn't had the right opponents yet to really show us what he can do. I mean, you talk badly about his title reign, but the guy's only been on TV for a short period of time as champion. You got to remember he was out for a fair while. I mean, a couple of months or at least 6 weeks with the staph infection injury. So he was out, and now he's back. He's gotten rid of the Big Show. Seems as though he's going to move on to perhaps Kevin Owens, which I think Ryback and Kevin Owens, I think would be a great matchup. I would really, really like to see that. Two big guys go on at it, and I think that could really, really work. Kevin Owens is phenomenal, and we know that. And Ryback will bring it in his intensity, and I like Ryback's style. People always say Ryback can't wrestle, he's no good, everything like that. And I get what they mean. I get that. I get that they're like, wow, this guy can't do all these flips off the top rope. He can't do this. He can't do all these crazy moves. But the thing is, in my personal opinion, we need guys like Ryback on the roster. The guy is huge. He's got the size. He's got the presence. We need someone like that. And not everybody has to do all these crazy moves like a Daniel Bryan or a Seth Rollins. Not everybody has to be a 5-star wrestling technician. We need guys on the roster that are just big, powerful, and, have that different style in the ring. And so I think it's good that we have a Ryback on the roster. And I think a lot of people dissing on Ryback that he's not a good champion, that he sucks. And yeah, okay, cool. I get that. I get what you mean. He's no Seth Rollins, he's no Shawn Michaels, he's no Daniel Bryan, we get that. But Ryback still has a purpose, and I still think he holds up his own every single week. So I credit Ryback. I like the guy, obviously. He's one of my top guys that I like, and I find him entertaining. I think, I personally will always cheer the guy on, because I think the guy has a big future. I think the guy can be something. So that's why I'm a big fan, because I just feel as though he has a big chance to really do something. And a lot of people say, when I say a lot of people, I'm talking about people who've had discussions on my forums, and I've just talked to people randomly. That Ryback will never be W champion. This is going to be the only time he wins a title and things like that. I personally believe Ryback, with the right booking, he could be a main eventer again. So I just think this IC championship, I would like to see them give him the title for an extended run. I know he's had an injury and things like that, but I would like to see him hold on to it perhaps till the end of the year, and perhaps drop it then, and try and elevate him up the card. Because I think Ryback has a place there, and I think Ryback just doing nothing in the mid-card is a really big waste. And I think you give him some momentum, give him some wins, and I think the crowd will start to get behind the guy. But Ryback and Kevin Owens, that's going to be really, really good. I think that's a good start in the right direction for Ryback. I enjoyed the Ancient Christian, New Day, and Dudley's little segment backstage. I think that was kind of just funny, and just, I love the New Day. We know it. I love the New Day. So it's fantastic to see them, and, I'm actually enjoying the trumpet thing. That is it trumpet or trombone? I don't know. I don't know musical instruments. But I like what they're doing with that. I think it's just funny. I think it's silly, but it works. I think the New Day, everything they're doing is just fantastic. I think these guys are just on fire right now. And then Dudley's back. All of a sudden, the tag team division has gone from irrelevant, just nothing to it, boring, who gives a damn. So now all of a sudden, the Dudleys, as soon as they return, it's now all of a sudden, oh wow, we got the Primetime Players, New Day, Dudleys, 3 good teams all going at it. This could be good. This, all right, the tag team division has turned around. It is, at a clap, in a snap of a fingers, in an instant. It's all turned around. So the tag division, I was talking horribly about it about 4 weeks ago, saying the tag division is done. Now all of a sudden, the tag division main eventing Monday Night Raw, getting some good time on TV. It's good signs. Very, very good signs. Very, very happy. We had a number of tag matches this week on Raw, actually. I mean, it was squash matches. We had the Ascension get destroyed by Reigns and Ambrose, and we'll talk about that now. I mean, the third man for Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose, who's it going to be? The rumor is it's going to be Baron Corbin. That's what I'm hearing. That's what I've been hearing for a number of weeks now. The rumor is Baron Corbin's going to come up and be the third guy. Personally, I think it has to be a guy from NXT or a returning person. Returning legend, somebody. They can't just have Randy Orton thrown in there. When obviously now Randy Orton getting destroyed by the Wyatts on Raw, that might, in my personal opinion, lead to Randy being put off TV for a while. I know Randy's been requesting, the rumor is Randy's been requesting some time off and wants to go part-time and just kind of ease back on his schedule. So that might be a way that Randy Orton might go away for another couple of months again and just have some more time off to relax. And Randy deserves it. So there's nothing for Randy to do. So let's just do that. I think probably should have... I think he beat Sheamus, yeah, so he probably should have let Sheamus beat him after Raw, but whatever. So I get that. So now that's Randy Orton now the picture. So I don't think it should be anybody on the current roster right now. It should be someone from NXT or a returning legend of some sort to come back and feud with the Wyatts. So I'm not exactly sure who would be the perfect fit, but if it's going to be Baron Corbin, yeah, okay. I would be okay with that. Finn Balor would be pretty cool. I think, Finn Balor could come back in here, but you got to think of it though as this is going to just be the third guy, just kind of the guy that's going to fill the spot. If you want to bring in Finn Balor, you're going to have to make him the man, and he's never going to be the man over Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose. So this is just going to be a third guy, and let's be honest, Baron Corbin, he's just a guy. He's just okay. So maybe we just need him to kind of do the job and come in there and be the third guy. And I guess if you're going to bring in someone, it has to be somebody with some size as well to kind of go up against Braun Strowman. So Baron Corbin, I think, has a fair bit of size to him. Might be the guy. So we'll see. But we also had another tag team matchup. The Dudleys destroyed Los Matadors. And the Matadors, did they turn heel this week? I mean, what's going on there? They beat up the Bull? Is now the Bull, leaving the company? I mean... El Torito's done. I mean, he got beat up by the Matadors. Personally, I would not be surprised if they bring out the El Torito next week and just have them sit along the Matadors and pretend like nothing happened. I would not be surprised at all. But it seems as though the Matadors, turned heel. They turned on their own partner or something like that, and the Dudley Boys, came out to stop them and put them through a table. I found it kind of funny. He did the Bubba Bomb off the top rope into the table. It just reminded me of Bully Ray powerbombing Dixie Carter through the table. It just reminded me exactly of that. So, I don't know what's going on with the Matadors. And personally, I don't really care. The Matadors, who really cares? But if they're going to turn heel, so be it. They can sit along the Ascension and Catering and lose every week when they need to. We had the Bellatron this week. One more week of it to go. So obviously next week they're going to have the title match between Charlotte and Nikki. I don't think Nikki's going to drop the belt. I think it's going to be some kind of screwy, like Brie Bella might come in and get her sister deliberately DQ'd or something like that just to hold on to the title, and they'll have the proper match at Night of Champions and have Nikki lose the belt there. So, I don't know, but I think you got to have Nikki win, just beat the record. We've suffered long enough for her as champion, where she hasn't really done much for quite some time as a champion. It's time. Just let her beat the record, erase AJ Lee from the top of the record book, and have Nikki become the longest reigning champ. So, and then I guess have her drop the championship to Charlotte, which is what I expected to happen. So I think Charlotte, I think that's probably a good choice out of the three. We've seen Paige as champion for long enough, and I think Becky, we haven't really seen much of her as at the top of the division. I don't think she was women's champion at NXT, whereas Charlotte was, so I think they might have a little bit more faith in Charlotte to get it done and become the leader of the division, rather than Becky. I think they might feel as though Becky needs a little bit more time to kind of develop a little bit more before they give her the belt. And yeah, so finally we ended off Monday Night Raw with the statue being destroyed by Sting, and Seth Rollins just being pissed off. So overall, I thought it was a decent show. And not a great Monday Night Raw, but it was okay. Some highlights, of course. So, not a bad show. And, so we have some fan questions this week, and we're going to talk about that. So, before we get into there, I just kind of want to what is Brendan up to? What am I doing this week? What have I been playing? What have I been up to? This week I played a bit of The Witcher 3, got back on that for a little bit, but The Witcher, I'm a little struggling with it because my character, I'm playing on the hardest difficulty, right? And my character sucks, and so I'm just dying all the time. I've got no money, I've got no food, so my character's just struggling. So I've been struggling a little bit on The Witcher. I really want to get Mad Max, the new game that just dropped out. I really, really, really want to get that, but I'm just telling myself, just wait it out and get it later when it gets down in price, because I think NBA 2K16 coming out in a couple of weeks' time. I'm definitely getting on that. I'm definitely going to be doing a GM mode series on that as well. So that's kind of like my main focus, I think, is doing the GM mode. And so I'm probably not going to be playing too much of the PlayStation until NBA comes out, because I've been wanting to play NBA all week and been stopping myself, saying to myself, look, wait for the new game and go full on, all in on the new one. So I think I'm going to be back playing NBA a lot, because I did not play much of 2K15, because I played so much of 2K14 that when 2K15 came, I had nothing left. So this year, I've got plenty left to give, and I'm really, really keen for 2K16. So I cannot wait for that. And I know Metal Gear got a huge review, but I don't think I'm going to be picking that one up either. And I might be getting FIFA as well. So a couple of new sport games coming out. So I probably won't be playing too much till then. I managed to go and see Straight Outta Compton this week, and I loved it. Oh man, that was a great movie. Finally got to see it, and it definitely delivered. Really, really good movie. Really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was fantastic. So probably my movie of the year, I think. I really, really enjoyed it. I mean, it was just fantastically done. I think it was just a great movie. That's all I have to say. Just great. I just loved it. So finally got to see that. There's a few other movies I wanted to see, but I don't think I'll get around to seeing them. So I wanted to see the new Mission Impossible and things like that. And some of the action flicks. I wanted to see the new Hitman as well, but people have been telling me it sucks, but I still want to see it. So maybe I'll see it when it hits the DVDs or maybe Netflix or something like that later on. But yeah, that's really all I've been doing this week. Not a busy week. Not really much going on. I got some exams and things like that. It's just kind of like a usual kind of standard week for me. Obviously, working on the Royal Rumble a lot this week was kind of like my big focus for the week. And now that that's done, I'm going to do some other videos and probably stream again perhaps later on. Maybe on the weekend I'll do some more streaming. And yeah, just kind of chill out and just have a good week. Alright, so we got some questions this week that I want to get into. We're going to start off this week with the forum and the YouTube questions, and we'll get into the voicemails after. So the first one comes from Oakley Tiger. He wants to know, as of right now, what names do you think will appear in WWE 2K16 as DLC? Alright, so I think Samoa Joe is going to be DLC. I think the Dudleys are going to be DLC. Braun Strowman DLC. Apollo Crews DLC. And that's really all I can see at the moment. I think they're going to get the rest of pretty much everybody else. I think is going to get in there. Probably some legends will be DLC. I'm not exactly sure who they'll go with, but I don't know. It seems like the whole kind of legend thing this year is Attitude Era guys, so I'm assuming they'll probably do some more Attitude Era type of legends, but there's not really much more they can do. They've got a lot of the roster down-packed already, so perhaps they might do some guys like Val Venus or something like that. I don't know. Some guys that we don't really... It's a mid-card legend guys. But as for main roster, that's all I can really see. So I'm not exactly 100% sure, but that's really all I can see at the moment. Just anyone that kind of debuts from now up until November, I think has a chance of being in the game as DLC. Normally, once it's past that, they don't bother, because, I mean, you look at the Shield a few years ago, they debuted at Survivor Series, and they did not put them in until the new game came out. So I think probably October is November at the latest. I don't even think November. I think probably October is the cutoff date. So if you haven't debuted before or returned before October, you are not going to be in the game. Alright, so next question. It comes from Amir Khan. It's a long one. What do you think of Kevin Owens calling out Michael Cole in his matches, and do you think it will lead to some angle, or is it just for the sake of keeping Cole relevant? He would also like to know my thoughts on Universe Mode Royal Rumble and what I thought about Dean Ambrose winning. He thought it was a surprise that Dean Ambrose won. Alright, so Amir, I think Kevin Owens calling out Cole. I think it just kind of correlates to their interviews that they've been having on WWE.com. You know, obviously Michael Cole, Kevin Owens have had a few now, and generally doesn't go all that well for Michael Cole. Kevin Owens is always, you know, a little bit snarky and you know, whatever on the interviews. So I think it just kind of follows on from that. I don't think it's really going to lead to anything. I would be surprised if it leads to anything. And personally, I don't think it should lead to anything. I'd keep Michael Cole out of it. And as for Dean Ambrose winning the Rumble on Universe Mode, I think it's fantastic. I think Dean Ambrose has a great chance now to be elevated into the main event. You know, Ambrose has been in the mid-card in the IC Championship division for a while on SmackDown, and before that he was struggling on Raw. I'm just intrigued in seeing which brand he's going to go to. Will he go to Raw, or will he stay on SmackDown? That's really what I want to know next, and I'm not exactly sure when he's going to announce that, but I think that's going to be very exciting. So I think Dean Ambrose is a nice surprise, like you said, but I think it's also a great opportunity for Dean Ambrose to really elevate himself into something big on the series. Another question now comes from Alfonso Henrique. Do you think NXT should have a minor title in the future? I think yes. I think yes, it will. I think only though if you have a growing roster. If you have an even bigger NXT roster, then yes. But if it's going to be a 1 hour show every week, then no. Because I don't know, I just feel as though if you have a 1 hour show every week, you can't really get everything in at the same time. You have the women's, you have the main NXT title, and if you have a minor title in as well, there's really no room for anything else. So if it's going to be a 1 hour show, I would keep it as is, because that way just everyone just wants that major prize, and then you create more personal rivalries rather than championship rivalries. So I personally think the NXT doesn't need a minor title unless they kind of grow a little bit further. And if they grow even more, I mean, and they do more house shows, they're doing more live events, they're doing more specials, then perhaps a minor title is necessary, because I think if you had a minor title and you had a championship going, I think it would certainly help them on their live events. Because just having the two titles on the live events might not make it as exciting, I suppose. I mean, I think having an extra champion on the live events would certainly help out. So I think that might be the only way I personally believe that that could happen. If they want to bring in an extra championship just to kind of bump up their live events, and you know, because I just feel as though there's not enough time on NXT every week to kind of have an extra championship. This one comes from Bashka. What are your thoughts on the new stable called the Cosmic Wasteland with Stardust and the Ascension? I'm a little disappointed that Stardust didn't come out with them this week when they faced Ambrose and Reigns. I'm talking about the Ascension, of course. I did not see it on SmackDown. I believe it happened on SmackDown. I didn't see it happen. I haven't checked out any of the clips. But I think it's a good pairing. I think you could kind of feed off the whole super villain kind of thing. I mean, the Ascension they could kind of pass off as a kind of villain, I suppose, with a face paint and the kind of weird kind of shit they wear. So I suppose it's not a bad pairing, and I think it just kind of gives both the Ascension and Stardust something to do, because the Ascension haven't been doing anything other than lose. So if they want to try and put these three guys together and make something, then I think it's a good idea. But if it's just more of a case of, oh, let's make three guys to lose every single week rather than two, you know, then yeah. So if they do something with them, then fine. But if not, I think it's just another bad pairing, a bit more waste of time. And we could be seeing the new 3MB. But 3MB, but supervillains, not rock stars. This one's from Flynn. After Owens vs. Jericho and Lesnar vs. Big Show have been announced for the Madison Square Garden event, what are your thoughts on the overall show and its match card? I think the show is going to be good. I really like the fact that they're doing this. I think this is a great idea. And obviously having Brock Lesnar on the show is going to immediately spark interest. Without Lesnar on the show, I don't think this would really work. So I think it's a good idea. Have Lesnar compete every now and then, once every 2-3 months, and have these extra big shows for the network. This is what the network should be all about. Having big pay-per-views, having special events, having special house shows, all these things, televising from overseas, doing all these cool things, having it on the network. That's what it should be all about. So having one in Madison Square Garden, I think, is great. It kind of also carries on to the fact they're doing a NXT takeover in London. I think that's also a fantastic idea, and I would love to see them do more house shows and more live events and more special events from overseas, because I talked about it with the Japanese crowd, and I talked about it also with the England crowd. They're very, very different, and you get a lot of different crowds, a lot of different reactions. It's very interesting to see who's getting cheered, who's getting booed, what people think of these wrestlers from different regions around the world, especially ones that we don't see very often, if at all. So I know I'd love to see a live event televised in Australia. I think that'd be fantastic. Something in South America, perhaps you get something going on in Mexico. I don't know. I think just all around the world, other European countries as well. I just think all around the world. I know Asia is a big market for WWE, and a very much so a growing market. So I think something there as well would be pretty cool, just to kind of get a gauge on what's everyone kind of doing. What do people overseas think of these guys? And I think, to me personally, I would find that very interesting. And also, like I said, it's a great way to market the network. More reason to tune in, more reason to stay subscribed, because there's all these cool big events happening all the time. So I think it's a good idea, and obviously bringing NXT on the road, doing more NXT shows is a good thing for them. And maybe they'll televise a few more of those as well, and just kind of give more content for the network. I'm surprised they don't do more house shows, like show one house show every couple of weeks from wherever. I'm surprised they don't televise them, because it's interesting, more content for the network, and how really hard is it to do it? Not very. Next one comes from Busy B. He wants to know, is Nikki's title in jeopardy, and are they pushing Charlotte too fast? I think Nikki will drop the title to Charlotte, but is Charlotte getting pushed too fast? I can see what you mean, but Charlotte's pretty old in terms of, she's new to the business, but she's 28, 29 years old, so she hasn't been around all that long. So I can see what you mean. Is she getting pushed too fast? I think she has the Ric Flair thing going for her. That obviously gives her some credibility straight away, and people can recognize her with that. And she's been pretty successful. She's done very well in NXT. She's been women's champion, and she was a pretty good one at that. I think since Sasha's coming off a title reign, I think they'd like to give Charlotte, or I don't think Becky, but I think give someone else a run with the title rather than give it straight away to Sasha. So I think Charlotte at the moment is the good fit, and you could build a bit of descent between Paige and Charlotte as well. And once you have Charlotte beat Nikki, you can move on to a Paige and Charlotte feud, which I think would be pretty cool as well. So something like that, and I think that would really, really work as well. And that's what the Divas Revolution, not that there is one, should be all about, is bringing these women up and really creating some interesting storylines with talented women. Alright, so let's move on to this week's voicemails.
Will you use NXT in next year's Universe mode?
Well, I think it really matters about, will they get a few more NXT names in the game? Right now, we're missing a fair few, so if we can get some more of those names revealed in next week's roster reveal, then definitely NXT possibly will be coming to Universe mode. It just depends on, is there going to be enough to make it worthwhile?
Do you think Seth Rollins will be United States Champion and WWE World Heavyweight Champion after Night of Champions? Or do you think he'll hold the U.S. title only? Or do you think he'll hold the World Heavyweight title only? Or do you think he'll hold no titles? By the way, this is Samir from the forums.
Samir, I mean, I don't know what was going on there. Are you half asleep, man, or what are you on? I don't know, but that was a very long and drawn-out question. I love my boy Samir, so shout out to him. But do I think Seth is going to have both titles, or no titles, or one title after Night of Champions? I personally think he's going to have one title. I think he's going to lose at least one. He has to lose at least one, in my personal opinion. Really, there's just Seth and Ryback as champions right now. They need one more other champion. So I think he might lose the US title. I just feel as though Sting is champion. I don't know. And Seth, I think, is above the US title at the moment. He doesn't need that title. He's not doing anything with it. And you can see he doesn't care about it. He's all about the WWE World Championship. So, drop the US title, I guess give it back to Cena and move on. Forget that it ever happened.
Do you think John Cena will face Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania 32? My name is Brandon Thorman. I'm 11 years old, and I live at Kentucky.
I don't think Stone Cold's going to face anybody. I personally think Stone Cold is done. He's been done for 10 years, over 10 years now. If he was going to come out, I think he would have come out of retirement already. So I think Stone Cold, I personally believe that he is happily retired and he's content and is completely done. Alright guys, that's going to do it for this week's edition of Let's Talk Tuesdays. Remember to leave your questions for next week's show in the YouTube comment section down below or on the Brendan Plays forums at brendanplays.com/forums. Also leave your voicemails as well on the website brendanplays.com. Check out the Facebook and the Twitter, and the links to those will be in the description. And of course the Patreon. Make sure you guys check that out if you guys want to support the show. I'd really, really appreciate that. That'd be awesome. And like I said, I'll give you guys some little bonuses and some rewards for kind of supporting the show. I think I was going to mention something, but I've completely forgot what it was, so I apologize for that. But yeah, so make sure you guys keep spreading the word. It's come back to me now. Support the show on Spreaker. We are number 3 on Spreaker still for wrestling shows. We're doing pretty good. We're getting up there. I think it won't be long till we take that number 1 spot. We are on iHeartRadio now as well, so if you do like iHeartRadio, search up Let's Talk Tuesdays on that and help us gain the rankings on that. We're on Stitcher as well, so make sure you keep supporting the Stitcher. And of course, iTunes is probably the number 1 place to download the show and listen to the show, so keep downloading the show. The more downloads we get, the better the show is. So I appreciate everybody that keeps checking the show out. And of course, if you check it out on YouTube, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already to hear more Let's Talk Tuesdays, more Universe modes, more GM modes, more WWE 2K16 news and updates, everything to do with everything. Oh, that's it. That's it for this week's Let's Talk Tuesdays. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode, and I'll see you all next Tuesday.